Just batch. Carefree.
Where learning is free.
Hey kids, today we'll be reading The Tigers Next Door, written and illustrated by Graham Percy, Conran Octopus Publishing. There was once a happy family of elephants who lived a carefree life. On the bottom shelf of the toy cupboard, the two children, Annie and Arthur, spent most of their time playing out of the doors in their big garden. Their favorite games were hide and seek and playing hockey. They also loved squirting water at each other and telling silly jokes. They spent all day long noisily clumping about, splashing and splashing and shrieking with laughter. No one told them what they could do or what they could not. So long as they wiped their feet when they came indoors and ate up all their meals, their parents let them do whatever they wanted. But, oh dear, one day everything changed. The elephants woke up to find that a new house had been built next door, and that a fence had been put slap bang through the middle of their lovely garden. At first, the elephants were pleased with the idea of having next-door neighbors. "Perhaps there will be some children for us to play with," said Annie, peering with interest over the fence. But they were soon disappointed. Their new neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Tiger, had no children of their own, and no time at all for Annie and Arthur. Every morning when the elephants came out to play, they found the tigers busy tidying their end of the shelf. Mr. Tiger straightened the fence and rearranged the trees, while Miss Tiger swept out the house and polished the windows. After their work, Mr. and Mrs. Tiger sat down for a cup of tea and a biscuit and discussed new plans for their house and garden. In the afternoons, they both had a snooze in a deck chair on the lawn and woke up just in time to make dinner. Each morning, Annie and Arthur waved to the tigers over the fence and called out, "Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Tiger. Would you like to play with us today?" Each morning, their reply was the same. "Certainly not. Can't you see we're far too busy?" Arthur and Annie carried on playing their usual games. However, it was much more difficult playing hockey with only half a lawn, and hide and seek was not nearly such fun with only half the number of trees. They tried to be careful, but, however hard they tried, the little elephants kept knocking down the garden fence and hitting the ball into the tiger's garden. It wasn't long before the tigers started grumbling. "Here we are, working hard to keep our home spick and span, and every day you useless little lumps from next door make a mess of things again." Well, Arthur and Annie didn't like being called useless little lumps. They had tried their very best to be careful, and they wanted to be friendly and helpful. One morning, they sat by the pond and thought how they could show the tigers that they weren't as bad as all that. "I know," said Annie. "Let's water their garden. Their flower beds have been looking rather dry lately." "That's a great idea," said Arthur, standing up. "Let's do it straight away." "We'd better wait until the tigers go out shopping. Then we can give them a nice surprise," said Annie. "Are they still having their morning tea?" "I can't quite see," said Arthur, peering round the trees. Annie climbed on Arthur's back to get a better view. Arthur took a step forward, tripped, and lost his footing. Whoops! They both tumbled into the pond. Water splashed everywhere. "Now, see what you've done?" snapped Mr. Tiger, coming over the fence, drenched from head to toe. "You've ruined our mid-morning tea, flooded our garden, and even spoiled our shiny kitchen floor." He gave a loud growl and snarled, "Useless little lumps! Go away! Don't let me see you outside again today." Arthur and Annie ran back to their house. They sat on their beds and began to cry. Mr. and Mrs. Elephant came in to see what all the commotion was about. We were only going to be helpful, the little elephant sobbed. When Miss Elephant looked out and saw what had happened, she said gently, "Don't cry. It won't take long to put everything right again. I've just seen the tigers go shopping. Go and see what you can do while they're out." The elephants dried their tears and went quickly next door. Annie sucked up water with her trunk and squirted it back into the pond, whilst Arthur polished the kitchen floor. He whirled around first on one foot and then on the other, using one of his mother's big soft cloths. They had just finished when Mr. and Mrs. Tiger reappeared with laden baskets. "I thought I told you," Mr. Tiger began in his growliest voice, and then stopped as he saw what the two little elephants had done. "My word," purred Miss Tiger. "You have done wonders. I can see you're not so useless after all, I wonder." She whispered something to Mr. Tiger, who grinned from ear to ear. Rubbing his paws together, he said, "Well, now, let's do a bit of rearranging in the garden, and then it will be our turn to give you a surprise." Annie and Arthur helped the tigers move the trees over to the pond and arrange bits of fencing at either end of the lawn. "All set," Mr. Tiger said, looking at the garden. "We're going inside for a moment. See you in 5 minutes." The little elephants looked at each other. What on earth were the tigers up to? It didn't take Annie and Arthur long to find out. Mr. and Mrs. Tiger came out, resplendent in bright blue and red sweatshirts, each holding a hockey stick. "Are you ready to play?" they asked. "Bet that you didn't know we used to be champions. Our grandfather from India taught us to play a long time ago." Annie and Arthur didn't need asking twice. For the rest of the day, they all played a wonderful game of hockey. Mr. and Mrs. Elephant came out and stood by the trees to watch. They clapped and cheered right till the end of the game. That night, Annie and Arthur went to sleep as soon as their heads touched their pillows. You see, although Mr. and Mrs. Tiger were really quite old, they were still fast players and had rushed the poor little elephants right off their feet. Even more surprisingly, early next morning, instead of cleaning and polishing and fussing about the garden, Mr. and Mrs. Tiger were out practicing, while Arthur and Annie were still in their beds, fast asleep. Thank you for listening. That's The Tigers Next Door. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to hear more stories, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you.
Just catch TV.
Where learning is free.